It's really a maze out there for someone trying to find a financial advisor. The problem is anyone can call themselves a financial advisor. You can call yourself a financial advisor. There's no real requirements to be a financial advisor. And so there's hundreds of thousands of people out there who are calling themselves financial advisors. And the problem with that is the majority of those people are purely salespeople. They're selling products, and there's nothing wrong with salespeople. That's all fine and good. People need to make a living, but at the same time, if you're going to trust your money to someone to manage that money, and they're just going to sell you a bunch of products that you might need or you might not need, you know, who knows if that's best for you. So the first thing I would do when finding a financial advisor is I would find a fiduciary advisor. And the reason that's so important is because a fiduciary has a legal obligation to act in your best interest. And what that means for you is if they have a legal obligation to act in your best interest, it means that if they don't act in your best interest, you have a legal right to sue them for non-performance. And with 85% of financial advisors out there, you don't have that ability because they're not fiduciaries. So you want to work with fiduciary advisors. And fiduciary advisors, the way that you can tell fairly easily if someone's a fiduciary advisor or not is if they're receiving a commission. If they're receiving a commission, then they're not a fiduciary advisor. And so when you're working with, and it can get really tricky to tell who's a fiduciary and who's not, because some have fee-based parts of their program, but then they also have commission-based parts of their program. Well, I tell people just look at their registration and see what their registration says, how they earn their money. If they're fee-based, then they're fiduciary, and that's the first step. So once you're in the fiduciary camp, now you've eliminated 85% of the people that you don't need to talk to. That takes you to 15% of advisors who are fiduciaries. Then it gets fairly simple from there because you've just eliminated 85% of the universe. With those 15% that are left, now you want to find someone who's got experience. If you're going to go on a wilderness trek to Zimbabwe, you want to have a guide that knows, you know, what's around the corner. So you want someone with a lot of experience, and ideally I think you want 10 years or more experience from your advisor. So that would be another checklist. So you've got your fiduciary, now you've got an experienced advisor, one who's been around the block. That narrows you down to probably, you know, maybe 5% of all advisors out there. Now you're down to that 5%, now you can start to compare track records, and you should ask them for their track record. You don't want them to show you what cool investments may have done here, there, everywhere. You want them to show you what they've done for their clients over the last 10 years and what their performance is. And then once you've got those track records, you can compare those track records with each other. Now you also want to know how much risk they've taken to put up those numbers. So you want to compare the track record and you want to compare how much risk they've taken. Once you get it down to, and you get it quantified on that basis, then you're not just hiring a financial advisor based on if he's a nice guy, if he comes across well. You're hiring an advisor based on what he's done for clients over the last 10 years and what he can document, and that's how you get a good advisor.